Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to see cloud fundamentals. In cloud fundamentals, we are going to discuss the terminology called what is cloud computing and what are the various services that is being offered by cloud computing and the various cloud deployment models. So first of all, we are going to define like what is cloud. So when we define what is cloud, we are going to see like what is basically a cloud and how the cloud is going to help in various customer requirement process, like how we can use this cloud in various use cases where it helps us to meet our requirements. So that is a place where we try to address a term called cloud. So in this terminology, like we are going to see like what is cloud computing. Like this cloud computing, we say like whenever we say like what is cloud, it is basically a concept behind like what is cloud computing. Whenever we define what is cloud computing, we say like it is an on demand availability of various system resources, especially such as compute, storage, and other resources. So that is a place where we try to address the term called cloud computing. And this cloud computing is an on-demand availability of various system resources, especially data storage and the computer power, without any direct active management by the user. So it means that like without any intervention, we try to access whatever I said, like such as compute and storage. I just told only two services that is being offered by the cloud computing. There are n number of services that is being offered by cloud computing. So we define like for the cloud, like we not to manage anything out of our own what is the compute resources. So we are going to simply use the resources that is being provided by the vendor. So worldwide there are three major contributors for this cloud service providers. We used to say like AWS plays a first place in the overall global market share by contributing 37% of this service providing methodologies. They adopt like various type of services. They bring in a lot of services for the end users, and that's why they dominate the cloud computing methodologies by providing the various cloud uh, services. And next comes to this Microsoft Azure. It is another one like that stands second in providing the cloud resources to the end user. And the third one will be the Google, IBM, Oracle, and other. They all together like they contribute some 37% of overall global market share. So this is a very simple market scenario. I'm just trying to highlight on uh, like what are the various service providers that comes into the market and how they provide the services to the end users. So when you say like cloud, so these are the various reasons for which we try to adapt this particular technology called cloud. So when we say like the properties of cloud, so we say it's an on-demand self-service. Like and best example to explain the concept of on-demand self-service would be our simple Google Drive. So we'll be storing some kind of presentation or an Excel file or a Word file or any sort of file. We try to put it in the drive, and like whenever we try to access those particular file from the drive, we try to log into that particular Google Drive. That is an example of one cloud. So we can able to access those files. So that is an on-demand self-service. In order to access the file which will be stored in the cloud or the Google Drive, so we need an internet connection with an web browser. So that is a basic requirements that is needed from our end to get all those cloud properties, whatever we define in front of you, like easy maintenance, resource pooling, rapid elasticity and scalability. Rapid elasticity and scalability is like whenever we don't know like how far the what is it, the request or the user demands, like cloud provides an another feature for which like it provides the rapid elasticity, like scaling up and scaling down. So based on this rapid elasticity, like we can able to expand the resources that is being required to run the application. And like security, like we bring in the various type of security mechanisms into the cloud, where only the authorized user can able to access the particular cloud. And then like pay like as you go, like whatever you use, you pay for it. And it's a measured service. Like for example, if you want to run an instance, see, and virtual machine, it will be like charged per second per hour. I in this like the measured service, like as I said, like it is charged per second per hour. So that would be based on the instance what we run to use this particular cloud. And next would be the budget friendly, like whatever we use, we pay for it. So we don't pay anything extra out of our packet. So next would be the broad network access, where it supports broader network to gain access to these cloud properties. So these are the three main, not only these three main benefits of using the cloud. There are still like another two are there, like, but we try to highlight this benefits of using this cloud. So initially, like we start with this trade capital expense for variable expense. So initially, like we need to set up an organization, like we need to what is a land and building, and we need to procure all the hardware which is required to run the organization. So that is a trade capital expense for which like we'll be investing a huge amount of amount in initially setting up for this infrastructure for starting an organization. But when it comes to this cloud technology, where the service providers such as AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, so actually they have their own data centers which runs across the globe, and like these are the physical data centers which is physically located across the globe, and they provide services from that particular location. So like we need not to spend any initial amount which is called as the capital expense for whatever I said, like for setting up an a building, or to procure the infrastructure, or the human resource for managing all those infrastructure. So that is totally eliminated by bringing the concept of cloud. And like then the massive economies of scale, like it by bringing in this kind of a variable expense, like the whatever the amount that we spend for a period of time would be simplified, and like we'll be getting more gains, like that is the advantage for which we go for the cloud. And like we not to guessing the capacity, like sometimes like whenever we launch an application, we not to worry about like how many number of users will be using system, or whether that particular resource will be enough for those users to what I say to access the particular application. So we not to be in a position to worry about this capacity, like the service providers such as AWS or Azure, they will take care of this kind of an services, such as like they scale up the resources or scale down the resources based on the user requirements. So that is where we need to stop guessing the capacity of the resources. Next, the another benefits of using cloud, like it's an by you adapting the cloud technology, there would be an increase in speed and agility. And next would be like stop spending money on running and maintaining the data centers. So because the service providers who actually have their own physical data centers, they will take care of maintaining those data centers, because like we are going to get only the services that is being provided by the service providers. And like we can go global in minutes, like whether we are in India, or we can, or in US, or you can Australia, or like wherever we go, but we're still able to gain access to the services that is being provided by the cloud service providers. So these are the six benefits of using the cloud, and for which this cloud computing, like most of the IT companies, like 90% of IT companies are moved their all the resources into the cloud. And these are the three basic cloud computing models, which used to say like these are the service that is being provided by the cloud computing models. So the three service that is being provided by the cloud computing service providers are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So you can see on the other side, like if at all, like if you don't want to go for any type of an AWS service provider, instead of which like you create your own infrastructure for supporting your business or the organization demands, like that is the place where we define the term called on-premise data centers, where you have all those things like data access, application, runtime, operating system, virtual machine, computing, networking, storage, all should be taken care of by the organization. Whereas when you take the service providers services such as, for example, if you request for infrastructure as a service from an AWS, so you have seen like the various what I say, the components that we have in all those services like data access, application, runtime, operating system, virtual machine, compute, network, and storage. When you take infrastructure as service from AWS service provider, AWS will take care of compute, networking, storage, and data access, application, runtime, operating system, virtual machine will be taken by ourselves. So that is a place when you traverse from infrastructure as service to software as a service. Uh, when you take infrastructure as service, you have more control over your IT resource. But when you come to software as a service, you have less control over your IT resources. So when you take the software as a services, so most of the components will be taken care by the cloud service provider. Only you're going to manage only this data and access in terms of software as a service. But you can see the difference in terms of infrastructure and platform as a service. And this is a very simple what is a diagram which actually explains the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So these are the various components, as I told, we have a data center, physical building, network, firewall, server, storage, operating systems, and deployment tools or data managements and other business analytics, or even for AI, there are a lot of tools or services. Then the host application and apps that is being running on top of this stack. And you can see like when you take infrastructure as service, like these three have been supported by IaaS, and the other remaining five would be supported by PaaS, and all these things will be supported by SaaS. And we come to the last part of this cloud computing, where we discuss the four different types of cloud deployment models, where we used to say like public cloud, private cloud, community cloud, and a hybrid cloud. And like we have the fifth one called multi-cloud. So what is public cloud? So whenever yes, a cloud has been deployed, so it offers this kind of a cloud. Public cloud would be a cloud service which would be offered to multiple customers by the cloud provider. So you not have any what is it, the authorized credentials to access those cloud. Like whoever wants to access the cloud, they can able to access the particular cloud. But private cloud is something kind of an computing service, so that is offered either over an internet or a private internet network, and that is being given only to the specific users, that too like who gain access to that particular uh, cloud by providing an authorized credentials. And community cloud would be an kind of an collaborative effort in which the infrastructure would be shared between several organizations on a specific community. Whoever becomes the member of that particular community can able to access those particular cloud. And like the important concerns that comes into the community cloud would be like security, compliance, jurisdiction, etc. So whether this community cloud is managed internally or by third party, or it can be hosted internally or externally. So next comes to this hybrid cloud, where it is a combination of um, public cloud and the private cloud. So that is a place where we say like hybrid, and it refers to a mixed kind of an computing, compute, storage, and service environment made on on-premises infrastructure, such as AWS, Microsoft, others, Azure, with orchestration among the various platforms. They bring in this concept of hybrid cloud. So next, we come to the last type of deployment model, which we rarely use this kind of a deployment model, which we used to call as multi-cloud. What is multi-cloud? Multi-cloud is a model of cloud computing where any kind of an organization which uses a combination of uh, two public cloud or two private cloud, or it's a combination of a public, private, and edge clouds to distribute the various type of application and the services. And you can see the basic cloud computing deployment and how these four terminologies or the deployment models such as private, public, hybrid, and community actually supports these cloud computing deployment models. And the various advantage we get in this each and every deployment models have been listed in the down of the particular deployment models, which is specified in the rectangle box. And each and every deployment model has its own advantage, for which we try to prefer that particular deployment model. And based on our use case or our requirements, like we need to decide like whether we need to go for private cloud or public cloud or hybrid cloud or community cloud. And that is all about the various cloud computing deployment models. And you can see the various cloud providers who actually dominates the world market. So this is the data what you see in front of you. It is a data that is being came up in 2021. According to that particular data, like AWS constitute more to the global market share, like they contribute to 33%. Next comes to the Azure 21, then comes to Google Cloud 10%, then Alibaba 6%, IBM 4%, Salesforce 3%, Tencent Cloud 3%, and Oracle Cloud 2%. So this is a very simple representation in which like how this cloud infrastructure service providers dominate the overall market share. And the top 3 cloud service provider accounted for the 61% of total cloud spend that is happened across the globe, as per the data that is being given by Canalys, that is published in the year January 2022. As usual, like AWS contributes 33%, then comes to Azure 22%, Google Cloud 9%, and others 36%. That is a combination of Alibaba Cloud, Oracle, IBM, and other things. That is the end of the session. So feel free to interact with more kind of stuffs. You can post anything in the comment section. Thank you all for watching.